Hey guys, it's Shy of the Shy Narwhal. Nick Jr. was a huge part of my childhood, and with over 35 years of programming, I'm assuming it's a huge part of some of your childhoods too. I've made several videos covering Nick Jr. over the years, and I think it's overall a really fun topic to make videos on. I think it's really fun to go back and look at old shows that I used to watch. However, when people talk about Nick Jr., people only really talk about the programming, like the TV shows, which, fair. Not a lot of people talk about the mascots that aired in between each episode. So I thought it'd be fun to cover a brief history of different mascots on Nick Jr. over the years. So without further ado, let's get into it. "11 years after Nickelodeon's launch, Nick Jr. would air on January 4th, 1988 under the name Nick Jr., but fully spelled out. The first rebrand of the block was in September of that year, where Jr. was abbreviated, and the blue and orange logo we are all familiar with was introduced.
Some magical new friends have joined the Nick Jr. family.
You bet!
Meet Blinky. Sure, he may look like an ordinary teddy bear, but he's really just a sleepyhead.
Whenever I want you to wake up, I just go like this. A little noodle's all it takes, Sandy.
The Noozles, weekdays right after Pinwheel on Nick Jr.
There weren't any mascots in this era, but the programming during these years included Pinwheel, Eureka's Castle, Maya the Bee, The Little Koala, and others. I'll be honest, I have no attachment to this era of Nick Jr. I didn't watch any of these shows growing up, and through watching the bumpers that aired during the block at this time, there really wasn't anything engaging about them.
Kids today, look at all the stuff they have. When I was a kid, the only thing I had was a 2x4, and my dad said it was a boat. For my 5th birthday, he put a nail in it. Mom said he was spoiling me.
Today, kids have it all. Not only do they have television, they have their own network. Every day, Nick Jr. has all the stuff kids want. Cartoons, sing-alongs, adventures. They have talking bees, dancing elephants, and flying bears.
No wonder the kids won't play with the boat.
Let your kid play with Nick Jr. every weekday on Nickelodeon.
Keep in mind, these bumpers were supposed to keep kids from ages 2 to 6 watching. I'm sure those who grew up watching Nick Jr. in the late 80s/early 90s feel differently about them though. In 1994, Nick Jr. introduced its first mascot, Face. These bumpers feature various bright colors and cartoony sound effects. Face brought some much needed life to this channel, and I feel like his presence made it clear that this was a block aimed at young preschool-aged kids. I know that in one of my older videos I mentioned that Face is creepy, and yes, I still stand by that, but I still find these bumpers to be cute and charming, and I can understand why they were loved so much by children.
It's me, Face. Sometimes I have
big eyes
and a little mouth. Sometimes I have
a big mouth
and little eyes. Sometimes I'm right side up. Sometimes
I'm upside down.
But I'm always right here on Nick Jr. Now stay tuned for Little Bear.
Face also has a really soothing voice, which for a kid's mascot is pretty rare. Not only did this era of Nick Jr. feature one of the most beloved childhood mascots, but it also brought many iconic and memorable TV shows along with it. Just to name a few, we had Little Bear, The Busy World of Richard Scarry, Gullah Gullah Island, Blue's Clues, Ooby, Oswald, Bob the Builder, I could go on.
Hi there, Face here. Remember me? We had so much fun when you were little, and now I'm back with a new show for your little one.
In 2022, Face actually made a return, this time on his own show, Face's Music Party. I've seen a few clips of the show, and I think it's a really nice update to the character. Piper Opossum was launched on October 11th, 2004. And this is the mascot I remember the most vividly. The character was animated using photo puppetry, and I think it looks really nice. As an adult, I can really appreciate the effort that went into animating these bumpers. Like, they didn't have to do this. They didn't have to make it look this nice.
Shake it, shake it, shake it. Hey, Piper here, and today we're going to talk about quiet and loud. Hear that? That's quiet. And hear that? That's loud. I guess I shook too loud. It happens.
The one thing I will complain about, though, is her voice. Compared to Face, it can be a little grating. Face feels more like a teacher, while Piper feels like that one annoying kid in your class who is nice, but also very loud and energetic, and hard to keep up with. This area of Nick Jr. also brought on a fair amount of new shows, such as Miss Spider's Sunny Patch Friends, Lazy Town, and The Backyardigans. These shows are nostalgic, but looking back, this time period wasn't nearly as charming as the previous one. It seems that this is around the time where children's shows were really starting to rely on CGI, and while I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, I think it makes them stand out just a little less. On September 10th, 2007, Nick Jr. phased out Piper, and this is the first time that the channel had no mascot since the mid-90s. While I don't think every channel needs a mascot, I think they add a lot of character and personality to each network. I do consider this period of Nick Jr. to be kind of the awkward years. This is around the time where Nick Jr. and Noggin were merging together to become one channel. There was even a point where Nick Jr. dropped the Nick Jr. branding and became Nickelodeon's Playdate for a few months back in 2009. During this time, I was starting to kind of grow out of the network, but I had a preschool-aged younger sister, so I still found myself watching quite a bit of Yo Gabba Gabba, The Fresh Beat Band, Olivia, and Ni Hao Kai Lan. I claim to be watching it ironically, but I think I secretly enjoyed watching these shows too. On September 28th, 2009, Nick Jr. officially replaced the Noggin channel. And with this, the channel brought on Moose and Z as its mascots. And I love Moose and Z. These are probably some of my favorite all-time childhood mascots. I'm not even exaggerating. I remember watching them on Noggin and Nick Jr., and they were part of the reason why I watched the channel for as long as I did. These two were the mascots on Noggin since 2003, and because of that, they already had plenty of reoccurring segments throughout the years, varying from games, songs, and puzzles that the viewer can interact with. These two had just the cutest friendship. Like, to this day, I Don't Like Candy Corn is probably one of my favorite Halloween songs. I think about it every single year. But unfortunately, all good things must come to an end, and Moose and Z ended their 9-year run on March 1st, 2012. For the past 10 years, Nick Jr. really hasn't seen too many changes, and as sad as that is, it makes sense. Less and less children are watching cable TV in favor of YouTube and streaming services. There are tons of great kid shows out there today, but it seems that nobody is watching them on cable anymore. I mean, I can't even remember the last time I watched cable, and it comes free in my apartment. The times are changing, and that's not really a bad thing. Noggin has since been relaunched as a mobile app, where kids can watch both classic and new age-appropriate shows. Nick Jr. the channel is still going, but I'm not sure how much life it has left in it. The channel just feels like a shell of what it once was, and it feels like it's just going until its inevitable shutdown. So what are your thoughts? Did you have a favorite mascot growing up? Did you have a favorite era growing up on Nick Jr.? Is there another channel you'd like to see me possibly cover in the future? I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. But yes, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you can like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!